Things Gary does. Well, Michael, here we are. End of Inktober. This is the end of the week 4. This is the roundup. We're going to go through the rest of the pictures. So, let's go ahead and just get started, shall we? So day 22 is one of these ones where I didn't really know what I was going to do, and so just kind of just drew a face, and then I don't know why, but I put dollar signs in his eyes. I don't know where it came from. Doesn't really have any meaning that I really prescribe to or anything. So that was just one to do. However, day 23 is quite a different story. This one I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite ones mood-wise. I don't know. I have different favorites for different reasons, but this one, like, for a scene and for the mood and, like, you know, whatever, is one of my favorites, and it got a lot more likes and whatever, a lot of more response from people liking it, and I definitely enjoy how it turned out. Like, it really worked well with the high contrast stuff that I've just been doing as default of the inking kind of thing, but of course it's also bending, so it's great. Yeah, really happy with that one. Day 24 is another bending picture, which wasn't originally going to be a bending picture. It was just going to be like a hand, because I'd like studied hands for a little while, and so thought it would be a simple one to do, and then I just drew a rock there, and so then it was bending, and it was great. It's much better that way. Day 25, I figured I probably should put a little more effort into things again, and attempted to do Garold of Rivia from the Witcher games, which I completed some months ago. Which generally, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's definitely a little more intensive than any of the other things that I've been doing, because I had to do reference and all of that stuff, and you can kind of tell from the picture, but I spent a lot of time on the upper body, and then by the time I got down to like the lower body, I was like, nah, I'd like to be done now. And so kind of just threw together the lower portions of the body, the legs and stuff, and his face doesn't exactly look like the character from the game, but I didn't want to like fiddle with it too long, so it is what it is, and it's pretty good. It's not bad. The parts, like the chest area and everything looks passable and looks good, so I'm happy with it. It's fun. I think people would know what it is. Day 26 was one of those ones that kind of just snuck up on me. I'm not sure what was going on that day, but I didn't really have any intention of really doing anything real big, and so my initial idea was just to, you know, line draw a cool looking bottle and put a label on it. And it's also supposed to be like a little thing, like, oh, we all want a little more of that something, or it always needs a little more of that something, you know, whatever. But as I kept drawing, like, I don't know, there's something about bottles and clear things in hard line that is always really weird, and it just never looked right, and so I just kept tweaking it until I was like, well, I may as well just paint it now, because I was at a certain point, and so I was like, okay, here we go. I don't think any of it is accurate as far as like lighting and stuff, but it looks convincing, so that was good enough for me. Day 27, for my pre-drawing inspiration, I watched a few videos on the YouTube channel Scott Robertson. I think I've told you about him before. He's a really big concept artist guy. But he always draws really cool looking vehicles and planes and cars and stuff, and so after I'd watched that, I was all charged to do something like that, even though I don't really have a very good history of drawing vehicles. So I went ahead and did this plane, and that's okay. I mean, it at least makes sense, like, perspective-wise. I don't know if it makes any sense design-wise, but I was pretty happy that everything stayed on, and it was pretty fun to make. It was only after I finished, though, that I realized that there's really no perceivable propulsion system for this thing. So, I think Brandon was saying that, oh yeah, you could it's just hiding, the engine's just hiding, it's some exhaust something, so that's what we go with, but yeah, it's kind of a big design oversight. Day 28 kind of goes with the theme of what I had like the other week with the terminal velocity. There have been a couple of days where I've just had like a lot of like what I've been calling internally, and it's kind of an embarrassing term to just say, but global anxiety, just like kind of being overwhelmed by everything that's going on in the world and all the problems, and you know, there's always videos of, oh, this travesty is happening this place, and like you feel like you got to care about it because, you know, things happening in the world, the people, but at some phase there's really just nothing you can do, and I don't know. It's a constant thing that I think about of how much one needs to be globally whatever without being destroyed by the idea that you can really do very little. Anyway, that's way bigger discussion than this quick thing. But this was me illustrating that feeling at that time again. Day 29, I was still kind of stressed. Just kind of like one of those days where just, things just happen and you're just stressed. And so when I was sitting down to drawing, I was having trouble with ideas as usual. And so I just started making lines and moving things and using all the little perspective tricks of like doing the X to find the middle points and all that stuff, and just branching off the things geometrically, and it turned into this really weird abstract thing, which it's really one of my favorites, just because it uses all these perspective rules and all this super hard line logic and stuff, but then like I purposefully broke a lot of those cues that give you the perspective. Like a bunch of the shadows like look like they're receding into the distance, but relative to other parts of the picture, they don't make sense spatially. And so I really kind of get a kick out of that. And there was a time I was just like flipping the canvas over and over just to kind of, because it changed the way you saw the picture. And so I had a good time with this one, and it did relieve the stress. So double win. Day 30 was inspired by just a moment I had when I was just sitting there thinking about what to draw and just looking at things, and just had a sudden thought that just kind of like whoop, just sort of opened up all this stuff that started running through my mind. And so I thought that was a good enough subject as any to try to illustrate. It was just a sudden like pug face. Ah! And last but certainly not least is day 31, this Top Gun drawing. I drew this because this was Brandon and I's Halloween costume this year. I hadn't seen the movie, and we were searching through the costume store, and we found flight suits. And so, even though I hadn't seen it, I was like, oh, well, maybe, what? Did I suggest it? I don't know. Maybe Brandon suggested it. But in any case, we watched Top Gun that night, and then went as Maverick and Goose to this Halloween party. So it was pretty fun, and this drawing didn't take me nearly as long as I would have expected it to, and turned out pretty fun. I'm pretty happy with this one. And that's the last one. So I guess that's it. The challenge is over. Inktober is done. I don't have 31 drawings because I skipped those 2 days, but I drew every day that made sense to draw. And you though, I saw, caught all the way back up, so you do have 31, which I was very impressed with. You really came together there at the end. It's been a kind of a tough time just getting the time to do the drawings and stuff, but it's definitely really beneficial for me, and I know it was really stressful for you in a lot of ways from when I would talk to you, but you really came out with some good work, and I think you really got a lot out of it seems to me, and especially with your last drawing with the witch, I feel like a lot of stuff, all came together for you to finish with that drawing, and so I think that's really cool that you ended with that. Out of all your drawings that you did this month, I think my favorites are the duck. I really like the duck. I really like it when you do these kind of surrealist, weird drawings like that. It feels like such a confident drawing that I just really like that. I also like, I don't remember what you called him, the sock head guy with the Spider-Man eyes, holding the candle. Sorry, I don't remember what he was, but I really like that drawing. And then your guy in the top hat. The guy in the top hat's really good. I like that one a lot too. So in total, I like all your drawings. And maybe we can continue to do some kind of art challenges going forward, because I think this was really good, and came out with a lot more work than I obviously would have done otherwise, and so I think it really helped me. And I did enjoy it. It was hard and stuff, and had to tackle with some things, but it was really good. So really, thank you for challenging me to do the challenge. And maybe we'll do another one in the future. I do have one last little surprise, though. And maybe this will make up for the 2 days that I missed, but maybe not. But anyway, I wanted some way to kind of show all the drawings together, like a kind of a composite, like this is Inktober 2015, but it was really hard. Because, I obviously didn't draw the pictures with that in mind, and, perspectives and all that stuff are not the same. But I did come up with a solution. And so I'm going to be publishing a video at the same time as this one that incorporates all the drawings that I did this month in a cool, like, long pan video. So take a look at that and let me know what you think. I think it was pretty fun. Like, it's not perfect, but in the time it took, it's pretty good, I think. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. And we should actually, like, physically hang out soon. We've been doing this video and talkie-talkie thing, but we haven't actually seen each other in a while. So we should do that. And until then, have a good day, have a good time, have a good week, and I'll see you then. So thanks, Michael, for all this. And if any of you are not Michael and want to see all the drawings, they're on my website, GaryDoesThings.com, or you can see them on my Facebook. Also Gary Does Things, and all those things, and promotion, and video, and things done.